This is Rennie Knopf with ChampionshipBBQ.tv, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
You could use it to fight off creeping marauders looking to take your steaks off your grills.
I just like being anywhere with Junior, Senior, and Diva.
Sounds like a whole other type of movie.
Wow. Yeah, really. Keep it hot, keep it clean, keep it lubricated.
We have top men working on it right now. Ooh, top men.
Hey, welcome to second hour, everybody. 3 minutes past. Top men have allowed me to stay through past 10 o'clock. Just saw something terribly troublesome there in the instant chat. Nobody calling in because there was a busy signal. We're checking on that right now. Busy? All right. Well, nobody's going to be calling in. Well, actually, you can, if you want to call in, like after. No. If you want to call in after we do the interview here with Bob Trudnak and we do the prize giveaway, you might have to call in the direct dial. 216-220-0966 is the number to call in directly. And I believe there might have been some billing issue with the 800 number forwarding service there right now. But try 220-0966. See if that comes in. Otherwise, we'll have to restart Skype, I would imagine. That could be it as well. No, 216-220-0966 is not a toll-free number. Deep beef. 220-0966. Here we go. Oh. All right, so we've checked it out. You would have to call in directly to the contest hotline, the Batcave line, 216-220-0966, 216-220-0966. And again, after we do the show here with Bob Trudnak from the Barbecue Guru, we will clear out the prize closet. I want to make sure that my customers are being taken care of. We're all filed in here on a Wednesday evening, and I certainly appreciate that. Get my stuff ready here for the Pitmaster. We'll head on over. All right, as promised, joining me for the After Dark segment tonight is Bob Trudnak. He is the sales and marketing director for the Barbecue Guru, a longtime sponsor of the show. Obviously, if you're any listener of the show, you would know that. He's also the pitmaster of the Barbecue Guru competition cooking team. So let's go ahead and race over to the hotline and welcome back in friend of the show, Bob Trudnak. Bob, how are you tonight, buddy?
Hey, Greg, how are you? How's it going?
Absolutely fabulous, Bob. I appreciate you making the time and, of course, moving back a day for me. Welcome back to the show. It's been a little while. This past weekend, one of the biggest barbecue competitions on really the whole eastern seaboard as far as number of teams that take part in it. Pork in the Park, this is the event in Maryland, event you've been going for a little while now. I don't think I'm probably taking too big a shot in the dark here to say that you probably weren't necessarily all that happy with the 43rd overall after the weekend drew to a close. But, I mean, let's keep in mind, I'm always glass half full guy, but let's keep in mind here, Bob, that it's 43rd out of 116 teams, and you've had a few days away from it now, having higher expectations than you probably came out with. What's your final take on the event? How do you evaluate it?
Well, I got to tell you, Sandy Fulton puts on a fantastic event every year. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I expected to be sitting here right now talking about how I did well, and I didn't. But that being said, I don't know. You know, if I made mistakes and I turned in bad food, then I would have something to go on and make some changes. But I got to tell you, you know, we turned in 4 categories, and I was very happy with the 4 categories. As a matter of fact, we had 2 volunteers come to us after the event, and they said that our ribs were spectacular. They were the best they've had, and I always try to put more than 6 in the box. So those 2 volunteers had our 2 last ribs. And I got to tell you, the back row of ribs was much better than the front row of ribs. So I made a little mistake there. But overall, it was a great time. I think I turned in some good food. And, you know, it makes you wonder, but you just got to brush yourself off and do the next one.
All right, so, I mean, when you have a result that you gauge as disappointing because it does differ from team to team, do you chalk it up at this point to the mistress that is competition barbecue, or did you have any real issues that you had to contend with during the cook that maybe you didn't anticipate?
Yeah, there was little issues, but nothing we couldn't handle. I do chalk it up to that. You know, I look at every team, every great team has an event like this. And I looked at some of the best teams in that competition there, and I saw them come in the middle of the pack, and it makes you wonder. But you know what? It is competition barbecue. There's a lot of skill, and there's some luck that goes in, you know, that's involved there. And all you can do is, like I said, brush yourself off and do the next one, and try to win every event you go to. That's all you can do.
Bob Trudnak joining us here on the show, pitmaster of the Barbecue Guru competition and cooking team. TheBBQGuru.com is the website. We're talking about Pork in the Park that took place this past weekend. All right, so let's go ahead, Bob, and take a look at the categories by turn-ins. And by no means am I trying to bring up these numbers in any harsh or mean ways, but you know we'll kind of evaluate them and see where you were. Chicken first one that's called out. You finished 66 in chicken, so right around middle of the pack. Is chicken, from what I understand from a lot of competition cooks, that while it seems to be like the most easily accessible meat to practice on, it seems to be an Achilles heel of a lot of teams. How do you guys do in chicken just in general? And this was not the worst score that you had over the weekend, but obviously one of the lower ones.
Right. I'll tell you what, we struggle in chicken like a lot of teams, and I felt like toward the end of or the middle of our last season, we stepped it up. We stepped up our presentation. We stepped up, you know, a little bit in flavor, and we started doing well. And our chicken did fantastic at the Jack. We took 4th in chicken. Mm-hmm. So we thought we had everything handled, and we did everything the same exact way. And what did it take? 66. So I don't know. You can't judge your food on one competition result. You got to take that into the next few competitions and see how it does. You know, you can't just say, okay, I did 66 in chicken, even though it did great in the last 4 contests of last season. Now I got to change everything. You don't do that. You do your chicken the same exact way again and see how it does, and then you do it the same exact way at the next competition, and you kind of evaluate it over the next few competitions. And then you make a tweak or a change.
That was going to be one of my questions that I was going to ask you here. So way to jump ahead and answer that right in the flow of questioning. Do you guys test and taste test your food before you put it in the box?
Absolutely. I bite every piece of meat before it goes in that box. Maybe that's why we didn't do good, because there was bites taken out of all our entries. No, actually, yes, I taste everything. And I think any good cook will tell you, whether you're cooking at home or you're cooking a competition, you taste your food, and you see where it is, and you see where you need to make changes to make it the best possible food for the audience, for your backyard party, for the judges, for whatever you're doing. So everything that goes in that box gets tasted.
All right, so let's move on to the ribs. You finished 30th out of 116 teams, so well above the chicken score. Do you guys prefer to cook the spare ribs, St. Louis style, or do you do baby backs?
I do spares. I buy my spares, and I trim them myself, and I've always done well with spares. I cooked baby backs my first year or two in competition, and decided I wanted to try spares, and I liked it, and I got good results, and I stuck with it. And I think you can cook a good spare rib just as good, if not better, than a baby back.
Do you see any trending at all to judges preferring one over the other, or does it typically come down to the way it's cooked?
You know, I got to be honest with you. I don't know. I know a lot of teams turn in spares. I don't know a lot of teams in KCBS that turn in baby backs. But no matter what you're cooking, it's the quality of the meat and it's your end product that's going to give you the result.
So how did the ribs come out for you? What did you think?
Oh, I think they were spectacular. Every time we cook ribs, I strive for layers of flavor. And without getting too involved, you know, I want to hit the mark on 4 different flavors or 4 different elements of flavor. And we did that, and I was very happy with it. So the fact that it came in 30th, what are you going to do?
Right.
I'm going to cook those same exact ribs at the next event, and the next event, and the next event.
All right, pork, best finish overall during the course of the weekend. You have just missed top 10 by 1 spot. You finish 11th.
Yeah.
Do you do Boston butts? Are you doing whole shoulders or picnics? What are you guys cooking?
We do Boston butts. And this was an interesting category for us because we decided we always cook 2 butts. And this competition, I decided I'm going to throw an extra butt in there. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to do 2 butts the old way and 1 a new way. And I really had high hopes for the new way. And when I tasted the pork, I decided I was going to stick with our traditional pork butt and not go with the new one. And I've cooked it. I've done some practice cooks with it, and I really liked it. But when it came down to it on that moment, that day, I decided to go with our traditional pork butt, and it ended up doing not too bad.
So the gut feeling wins out on that one.
What's that?
So the gut feeling kind of wins out on that one.
Yeah, exactly. The gut feeling wins out.
Do you guys inject pork butts?
We do.
All right. Who do you use? Seems to be 3 or 4 different injection manufacturers out there. Are you guys using something that's just specific to your own recipe?
Yeah, actually, this is nothing commercial.
Oh, okay.
Putting in the butts.
Something that could see on the barbecue guru shelves at some point.
You may see it.
You never know, right?
You never know. I'm not sure.
All right, so then we move down to the brisket category. Lowest finish of the weekend, 72nd out of 116 teams. Are you cooking whole packers? You cooking flats? You cooking a combination?
No, I'm cooking whole packer briskets. I'm cooking primes. They're very, very good briskets. We did pretty good in brisket last year, and our presentation scores weren't as great as our taste and tenderness. So, you know, Kenny and I decided to play around with our presentation, and that really seemed to work. So we do a new presentation. We do a couple of local contests in Pennsylvania. We do the Royal Invitational in the Open. We do the Jack. We don't do too bad. And then what's interesting about it is Kenny, who's on our team, Kenny Baker, he goes out to Arizona to do a cooking class for one of our dealers. And he goes out there to help them with a competition. So it's kind of like work and vacation. So he goes out there and helps them, and he does this brisket presentation, the same presentation we've been doing for 5 contests, and he gets disqualified.
Ooh.
And he gets disqualified because they said it was, you know, a form of marking. And we were blown away. He called me, texted me right away, and said, "You got disqualified in brisket." So it was very interesting to see the kind of events that took place afterwards. You know, we went through all kinds of phone calls and emails, and it turns out that if we're going to do this presentation, we have to show the reps a picture of our presentation. And they need to make a decision there on the spot before the contest whether they think it's going to be judged legal or not.
Is this because it's so far out of the norm to what people are doing that they think you're going out of your way to set your box apart?
Yeah, we're kind of on the edge of what could be legal or illegal, I guess. But, we're just trying to make things different. We're always trying to be creative and make things a little different than the norm and try to get ahead that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, and I'm not on the team, so I can't sit here and pretend like I'm just as irritated as you guys were, because getting DQ'd can really kill your chances of winning, obviously, that particular category, but then, of course, the competition itself. If we always talk about competition barbecue evolving and the evolution and how people never used to inject, but now they're injecting. The one thing that I've been discussing over the last year is how competition cooking classes have potentially started to vanilla flavor profiles, because a lot of people are learning what they do in class and immediately applying it to their next competition that person that just taught them might also be at. And you guys are now trying to do exactly the opposite. Press it out a little bit, change it up and make it a little bit more original, and now potentially being disqualified, well, not even potentially, but getting disqualified for having a little bit more originality. I mean, it has to be ridiculous.
It is. And, I wasn't there for the event. It wasn't under our team name. He went out to help somebody else, did the brisket, and that happened. And, we were upset. And all I can say is, I guess it's on us a little bit for pushing the envelope. But, if the rules are cut and dry, then it's a shame that this got disqualified at one event and did well at 5 other events, including 2, big events, the Royal and the Jack. And then we did the same exact presentation at Pork in the Park, and it did not get disqualified. Now, it didn't do well, but to be honest with you, our presentation scores were better than our taste and tenderness. So.
Who knows? Bob Trudnak joining us here, pitmaster of the Barbecue Guru competition cooking team, also sales marketing director for the Barbecue Guru, and we'll get onto that side here in just a minute. Bob, you guys ever played around or thought about trying out, maybe you have already, this phenomenon of Wagyu beef, and what seems to have a monopoly on this is the Snake River Farms product?
Yeah, I have. I think it's a great product, and we've used it in competition. And I've compared it to what we're doing now at the same competition. At a competition, I've compared Prime against Wagyu. And I think for us that the Primes are just working. Not to knock the Wagyu, I think it's phenomenal. But for our particular method, for our style of cooking, the Prime seems to do better than the Wagyu by just a touch. So we decided to stick with the Primes.
How many competitions you guys plan on doing this year, Bob?
We'll probably do 10 to 12 events, like state competitions. We decided to get into the Sam's Club series, so we know we're doing one of those at least. And then we'll see what that brings us. That may bring us, some championships or not. We'll see.
So what is the biggest change, or what is the biggest change that you have made, when you first got into doing competition barbecue to where you're at today? What's some of the biggest changes that you have made to the repertoire, that the team has made to the repertoire from where you began to where you're at today?
Just continuing to organize, continuing to be consistent, continuing to, keep the quality. And try new things, but obviously not at a competition. But always strive to do your best. Like, 3rd place pork is great, but what can I do to bring it over the edge? How can I make that 1st place? What little thing can I do? You got to just be conscious of your flavors. Be conscious of every little thing you do, the look, the appearance. Just keep on top of everything, keep things consistent, and kind of know when you're doing well, don't try to change things. And when you're not doing well, make small changes to take that next step toward doing a little bit better. Don't completely change what you're doing. Don't do what somebody else is doing. Keep to your methods, to your philosophies of cooking good barbecue, and just go out there and do your best every time. But keep it simple, and make small changes if you need to. Stay organized, and be repetitive.
Do you think, Bob, that that's what really separates some of the top teams out there, is that probably 85, maybe even 90% of competition cooking teams that take place at an event over the weekend, if they get a third-place brisket, or hell, if they get a call, that makes the weekend for them. And then there's a different strata, there's a different portion or a percentage of teams out there weekend in, weekend out that see that third place. Let's say they're satisfied to a certain degree, but as you said, they're reviewing, what do we do? What was the process? What was the flavor profile? Did it meet all of these criteria? Because they want to continually press to get first and everything and get that reserve or the grand championship call. Is that what's separating a lot of the teams from everybody else in the upper echelon?
Yeah, I guess it could be. You go through an evolution. You do your first contest, you're excited, you're out there to have fun. Maybe you're out there with your buddies or your wife or your husband, and you're just happy you're cooking barbecue, and you're at a competition. And you want to keep that no matter what level you're at. You want to keep the fun. When you stop enjoying it, then stop cooking competition barbecue. But there's certain levels of expectation. Your first couple contests, you want to get a trophy. And then you say, okay, I can do this. I can compete. And now I want to try to bring another category up into the trophy level. And now I want to bring the third one. Now I want to bring the fourth one. So it's keeping your four categories up in the top 20% or the top 10% every time. How are you going to do that? That's going to get you the wins. And, and winning isn't everything. I enjoy cooking barbecue. It's my life. I love it. Yeah, I'm very competitive, and our team is very competitive. But, look at what happened this weekend, and I'm still happy. I'm still having a good time. I'm still thrilled I'm involved in barbecue. And so, stay happy, love what you're doing, and just try to keep everything up there consistently.
Bob Trudnak joining us here on the show, pitmaster of the Barbecue Guru competition cooking team. Where's the team going to be at next, Bob?
We're going to be local, actually. We're only going to be a few miles away from our shop at Green Lane, Pennsylvania. I think it's a 3 or 4 year old event put on by the local fire company. It's hosted by some great people. Smaller competition, probably 40 to 50 range. But it's a local event. It's a lot of fun. I'm very excited about getting out there and doing it.
All right, so kind of switching gears up here, Bob, as I had mentioned before a couple times, you're also the sales marketing director for the same team name, Barbecue Guru.
Yes.
Pit temperature control devices, biggest claim to fame, the flagship products, if you will, the company that really invented this whole thing that some other companies have tried to piggyback onto. You have 4 different models to choose from. If the people out there seems to actually be quite a big crowd for a Wednesday, which typically doesn't happen because the show's usually on Tuesday.
Right.
But for the people that know about the pit temperature control devices that the Guru makes, kind of give us a little pitch about each one of them, what they can do, and potential price points.
Okay. Well, right now we have 4 models. We have our NanoQ, which is our entry-level control. It has a pit probe. There's no display on it. So we're trying to keep it simple. We're trying to keep it inexpensive, so we do not put a display. You would use your analog or dial thermometer to read your temperature, but you can set your NanoQ in 5-degree increments. That's going to be, right around the 200 mark. We have our DigiQ, which is the most popular model, and that has a pit probe and a food probe. It's got a bright red LED display. You have over and under temperature alarms, meat dawn alarm, all kinds of great features. And people love this control because it's simple, and you can see your temperatures from a good distance. It scans back and forth between pit and food. Very reliable. Like I said, that's the most popular. Our CyberQ has the capability of running 2 cookers. So when you purchase it, you can purchase it with either 1 fan and adapter or 2 fans and 2 adapters. Comes with a set of probes. You can buy a second set of probes for it and run 2 different cookers at any temperatures you like from 1 control. That also has a PC application, and it uses USB communication, so you can actually view and control your cooker from a PC, laptop. You can get cell phone updates. You can get text messages, emails, things like that. And then we have our ProCom 4, which has been around quite a while, but it still is our high-end control. It's the most expensive. And that's true radio control. So it comes wireless. You have a handheld, a base station, a pit probe, and 3 food probes. And you can actually change and view your temperatures from up to 600 feet away, line of sight. So that's our 4 controls. We have our Onyx oven, which is our wonderful smoker that I've been using for 2 years now. And we have some really interesting things coming out in the next 6 months to a year, which I really can't discuss in detail.
No scoop tonight, huh?
Nah, little tease, but we'll be able to talk about it very soon.
All right. For the cookers, I would imagine because of the flagship products, the Onyx oven, is the Caldera also available, or is that getting phased out?
The Caldera Tallboy is getting phased out. It is. The Onyx oven's taking over. It's our newer smoker. It is a cabinet-style smoker, heavy-duty latches. It is double wall. It has 4 shelves, a nice firebox. It holds 12 pounds of charcoal. The unique thing about it is it's lightweight. I'm talking 85 to 90 pounds, but it's extremely efficient. On 7 pounds of charcoal, we're getting 25-plus hours of cooking time.
Wow.
And you can use it in 3 ways. You can use it direct, like you're grilling. You can use it indirect with a water pan for a moist cook, or you can use it indirect with a stone board for a dry cook. So it's very versatile, lightweight. You won't have to worry about getting up in 7 or 8 hours to check your temperatures. It's going to stay rock steady. It's made to use with our controls, and I'm very, very happy with it. We're using them in competitions, and we're selling them like crazy now. Got a nice heavy-duty firebox now, too. We upgraded our firebox so that no matter the temperature, well, you want to keep this thing 300, 325, 350 or under. And we have a nice heavy-duty firebox, 4 stainless shelves, and it's a great cooker.
Bob Trudnak joining us here on the show. Bob, I'm getting a couple emails and some private messages for the instant chat. For people that are looking to get into a particular pit temperature controlled device, is it best for them to just kind of call in and tell you what they have? Are they able to piece it together on the website? What's the best way for them to go about picking one out if they don't already have one or have a knowledge base to draw from?
Either way. I mean, we're more than happy to talk to you on the phone. You can kind of breeze through the website, look at the different controls. We have, on our homepage, we have a nice recommended fan and adapter section where you can view your cooker in alphabetical order and tells you what fan and adapter to get. The controls, it's really up to you. How many features do you want? What do you want to spend? Once you decide on the control you like, then you pick your fan and adapter for your particular cooker. Give us a call, look through the website. We're more than happy to help you.
He is Bob Trudnak, the sales and marketing director for the Barbecue Guru, also the pitmaster of the Barbecue Guru competition cooking team. And again, you can find him on the web, thebbqguru.com, or you can call him toll-free from your phone, 800-288-GURU. Bob, I always appreciate the time, and we'll hook up again soon.
All right, Greg, it was great talking to you, buddy.
All right, take care. There he is. Not only great friend of the show, but great sponsor of the show, Bob Trudnak from the Barbecue Guru. Make sure you check him out. Look, folks, you love the show, of course. People always sending me emails during the course of the week, or we're chatting it up on Facebook or going back and forth on Twitter, asking me, what could we do for the show? Is there anything we can do for the show? There's only one thing you need to do for the show. First, if you know anybody in a high-ranking position that does a syndication of radio shows, turn them on to the show. That's number one. Second, I'm just kidding, by the way. The first thing that you can do is go to the Barbecue Central Radio Network website. Kind of scroll down a little bit, and you'll see banner ads of people that sponsor the show, their companies. You have the Barbecue Guru, you have Stephen DeFranco Jewelers, you have Yoder Smoky Mountain Barbecue, you have Fred's Music and Barbecue, all of these great people that have really gone out on a limb on an internet radio show. I mean, how ridiculous is that, first of all? But they have found value in the show. They know what they're getting. They're a target market. We're all interested in barbecue, whether you do it on podcast side, Willie, or whether you're doing it here live and direct every Tuesday. It's Wednesday night, but every Tuesday typically. Patronize the sponsors first and foremost. If you're looking for accessories, Barbecue Guru just isn't a Onyx cooker and pit temperature control devices. They have a host of other products that make your barbecue and grilling life easier. Same with everybody else. Frequent the sponsors. This helps the show continue, and we continue to grow together. So that's all I can tell you. If you want to help me, I don't need your money. I appreciate all the sauce and the rubs and the free stuff that people will send me on a daily basis. Believe me, I appreciate that. But the biggest thing that you can do, if you're asking, and it's a question I get all the time, what can I do for the show? Frequent the sponsors. If you love the show, you want it to continue, that's all I ask. Just frequent the sponsors. Let them know, hey, heard about you on the show. You're doing a great job, and we like the show. Blah, blah, blah. All right, let's go ahead and clear out the prize closet if you want. 216-220-0966. I'm going to write that here on the chat board, too, because I have a feeling this is where the majority of the calls are going to be coming from. 216-220-0966. We do have Draper's Barbecue Rub and Sauce Prize Pack. We also have the Smoky Okies suite of products, and then the old standby stuff as well, the barbecue stuff from Cosmos. We also have the wine-infused Oakwood products from Greenleaf Barbecue, frog mats. We have El Capitan Santa Maria-style barbecue products, all of that stuff. And it looks like we're going to start giving it away here in 1 second. All right. We go to area code 603. You're on the Barbecue Central radio show. Name and where you're calling from.
Calling from Hudson, New Hampshire.
And your name, sir?
Anthony Martino.
Anthony, how are you tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great.
All right. Anthony, we have a bunch of stuff to give away tonight. Did you have your eyes on something in particular?
No, I didn't. Just first time listening to the show. I think it's great, and we'll continue to listen.
All right. Well, here we go. Just to kind of incentivize you to continue to listen even next week, we have a special gift pack, a bottle of sauce and a bottle of rub from an up-and-coming sauce company here, Draper's Barbecue. Is that something you might have interest in, Anthony?
Sure. Why not? All
right. This is what you need to do. Email me your shipping info. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and then Shane at Draper's will send along the prize pack. You'll enjoy it, trust me.
Okay, Greg at
thebbqcentralshow.com.
BBQ Central.
Show.com.
Okay.
Got it?
Well,
all right, buddy. Thanks for calling in tonight. All right. It's Anthony, New Hampshire. New Hampshire. Area code 863, name and where you're calling. Hello.
Mr. Rippy.
Yes?
Chad Ward with you at Barbecue.
Oh, Chad, baby. Chadley, what's up, brother?
Well, I called my shot, wanted to hear myself, so sounding good. Really want no prize. Just wanted 30 seconds to thank everybody at Pork in the Park for all the help they gave us this weekend.
How much help was that, by the way?
George Hensler, was great help. Julie from Swamp Pit, they were great help. We just had a lot of fun and a lot of great people that really pitched in and helped us out.
So what did you think traveling up from Florida, doing the Pork in the Park? I mean, absolutely crappy weather from all accounts. And you were also kind of it just is double entendre night. You also had another whiskey barbecue team working the Venice, Florida event, which you guys won, right?
Yes. So we've always prided ourselves on having a bit of a program that, we feel like we know how to cook it. We can put it on paper, and anybody on our team could execute it, and we proved that this weekend. Jared Hatcher and Joel Van stayed down here in Florida, and we were missing a really key member, Dan Williams. He got sick and couldn't make it this weekend, but they cooked Florida and beat the old Myron Mixon. Myron took reserve, and we beat him by 7 points down here. And then, me and Matt Van went up to Pork in the Park, and it was a very tough set of weather elements, but we gave it our best, and just the best people though. I mean, we had a really good time. It was really nice people. Everybody, went out of their way to make sure we had what we needed to compete, and it just really talks volumes about this barbecue community.
Something you'd go back to again next year if you had the opportunity, Chatters?
Absolutely. What we're hoping to do is convince Fred from Tasty Licks, since he's a GMG dealer, to not have to compete next year, but we can just kind of do something together. So we can still cook on GMG cookers, and he can still get his name out there, and we can all still have a good time. So we'll see. But Fred Bernardo, if you'd be open to it, we'd love to do it next year.
All right. He is the pitmaster of Whiskey Bent Barbecue. It's Chad Ward. I appreciate you calling in tonight, buddy.
All right. Take care, Greg. Have a good evening.
There he is, Chadders. Chadley and I, we go back and forth on Facebook and on Twitter quite a bit. It's very fun. He's a great guy. Met him in person last summer, and hopefully we do that again this coming year. We go to area code 704, name and where you're calling from.
Hey, Greg, it's Wayne. I'm out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey, Wayne, how are you tonight?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm absolutely fabulous, Wayne. Thanks for asking. We've given away the Draper's Barbecue Prize Pack, but we do have the Smoky Okies suite of products. I don't know if you're into injecting. We also have a bunch of other stuff. First of all, are you at all interested in the Smoky Okie stuff? We can kind of build from there.
I'm actually kind of leaning towards the wine-infused oak.
All right, from Greenleaf Barbecue, wine-infused oakwood products, greenleafbbq.com. That's Tim Bryan over there, I believe north of San Francisco, somewhere like that, over there on the left coast. So, Wayne, all you need to do, send me your shipping information, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and we'll get you hooked up with the Greenleaf Barbecue stuff.
Thanks, Greg. Enjoying your show tonight.
All right, thanks. There he is, Wayne. Getting a good smattering of folks calling in New Hampshire, Florida. We've had, I believe you said North Carolina. Wayne. So still a bunch of stuff. If you're interested, 877-448-0433. Thanks for all the first-time listeners in tonight. Appreciate you. Great job, again, by Chad Ward. And all of the good boys over there at Whiskey Bent Barbecue doing a split, what do you call that? A split squad, if you will. One up in Maryland, one down there in Venice. I believe last year in Venice, they finished reserve grand champion, second only to Rub Bagby of Swamp Boys fame. And this year, we're able to better up and win the whole damn thing in Venice. So that's outstanding. Way to go, boys. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Looks like we got another email. Hey, here's going to be a great prize pack coming in from James Tyndall. Looks like we're going to be getting our hands on some maple and oak Mojo bricks, I believe they're called. If you haven't seen those, Google it, Mojo bricks. Let's go to area code 704, name and where you're calling from.
Mike Scruggs, Gaffney, South Carolina.
Hey, Mike, how are you tonight, buddy?
Good. How's it going?
It's going absolutely fabulous, Mike. Appreciate you calling in tonight. We have some prizes to give away. First thing that I would like to mention to you off the bat in the prize closet is the Smoky Okies suite of products, do you have any interest or do you inject in something you would like to try out?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
All right, so you're going to have to pick which one you want. We have a 2-pound bag of the Smoky Okies Sweet Smokin' Swine Brine Pork and Rib Inject. Have you ever injected your ribs, Mike?
No.
All right, well, we don't have to, but you can use it with pork as well. There's also, you can choose for a 1-pound bag of Smoky Okies Bark Pork Injection, which makes the inside taste like the bark of the outside. Or you can choose a 1-pound bag of Smoky Okies, say it with me, deep beef. Beef injection, sorry. And that puts the deep beef into your brisket. Which one would you like?
Let's try the beef injection.
All right, beef injection it is, the deep beef injection. Mike, all you need to do is send me your shipping information, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and we'll get you hooked up.
Okay, thanks, man.
All right, thanks for calling in tonight, Mike. There you go. Awesome. There you go. All right, we are pretty much all set for tonight. So, I'm going to thank my first hour guest. That was Craig Goldwyn from AmazingRibs.com. We're talking about wieners. Like wieners? Also, he was there for the third segment, too. Talking about more wieners. Nobody called in for the fourth segment free-for-all, but you got me for 10 minutes, so that's good. And then thanks to Bob Trudnak from the Barbecue Guru, Sales and Marketing Director from that company, also the pitmaster of the Namesake, talking about Pork in the Park from last week. And to my listeners for calling in and grabbing up the free prizes. Outstanding. All right, we got a show that is jam-packed next week with a special guest by the name of Ken Hess from Big Bob Gibson's is going to be joining us, as well as a cast of thousands. Hopefully you'll be back next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.